You've heard about options trading, right? It's this world where you can make incredible amounts of money, but it's also a place where you can get completely wiped out, like in the blink of an eye. So how do you even begin to navigate that? Well, the secret isn't some magic formula. It's about a total shift in how you think about the game.
And look, that's not just hyperbole. An options contract can literally become worthless, or it can deliver a 10-bagger return. It's this insane duality that pulls so many people in. But you've got to remember, that means with every single trade, you are placing a bet, and a bet with massive consequences.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, the real secret, isn't about finding some hidden indicator or a magic formula. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. It all comes down to choosing which role you want to play in this market. So think of it like this. You've got two players at the table. First, there's the gambler. He's chasing those long shots, throwing money at prayers, and riding an emotional roller coaster. And then you have the casino. The casino doesn't hope. It doesn't rely on luck. The casino understands probability, it controls risk, and it always has a strategic edge. In options, you get to choose which one you want to be.
Okay, so let's dive right into the single biggest mistake that traps new traders and just keeps them stuck in that gambler mindset. It's the irresistible lure of what I call the lottery ticket. You see these things all the time, right? These cheap, far out of the money options. They seem like such a bargain. Maybe a stock is trading at $100 and you see a call option with a strike price of $150 and it costs pennies. The gambler in your head goes, hey, if the stock just moves up a little, I could make a fortune. But the cold, hard math tells a very, very different story. And to really get why this is such a bad bet, we gotta talk about something called delta. Now, forget all the complex Greek definitions for a second. The easiest way to think about delta is just as a percentage. It gives you the approximate probability of that option finishing in the money, meaning it's actually worth something when it expires. And this chart right here, it just lays it all out in black and white. That cheap lottery ticket option might have a delta of 0.10. That's roughly a 10% chance of success, which means it has a 90% chance of expiring completely worthless. Now, a slightly more expensive option might have a 0.25 delta. Still a long shot for sure, but your odds have more than doubled. The casino thinks in these probabilities. The gambler just closes his eyes and hopes. And you know what's so frustrating for new traders? This is the real kicker. They might actually be right about the stock's direction. They see it move up, but then they look at their account and that cheap option has lost value. Why? Because the move wasn't big enough or fast enough to beat the option's relentless time decay. You're fighting a losing battle against the clock, and that's an edge the casino always has. But it's not just about buying those lottery tickets. The gambler also totally ignores the built-in house edge, those hidden costs of playing the game that the house or the market makers always have working in their favor. So we're going to zero in on two of the absolute biggest profit killers. First is something called poor liquidity, which creates a direct cost on every single trade you make. And second is the volatility crush, which is like a silent trap for anyone trading around big news events. You know, when you look up an options price, it's not just one number, right? There's a bid price, that's what buyers are willing to pay, and there's a slightly higher ask price, what sellers are asking for. That little gap between them, that's the spread. And make no mistake, it is a direct cost you pay every time you get in and out of a trade. Let's put this in real dollars so you can see the damage. A standard options contract is for 100 shares. So a tight 10-cent spread on a liquid option costs you $10 to get in and $10 to get out. That's a $20 round trip. No big deal. But a gambler trading an illiquid option with a wide $1 spread, they pay $100 just to enter the trade. $100, you're in the hole for $100 the second you click buy. It's a slow bleed that just drains an account over time. All right, the next hidden cost is a little sneaky. It's called Vega, but honestly, just think of it as the excitement premium. See, right before a big, uncertain event, like a company's earnings report, uncertainty is through the roof. So market makers pump up the price of options to cover their risk. That extra juice is the Vega premium. And here's how the trap springs. The second earnings news comes out, bam, all that uncertainty disappears, poof. And that Vega premium, it vanishes right along with it. This is the volatility crush. The crazy thing is, the stock could even move in your favor, but if the move isn't big enough to make up for that lost premium, your option will still lose money. It's a massive, massive headwind for option buyers. Okay. Enough doom and gloom. We've talked a lot about what the gambler does wrong. Let's flip the script. How do you start thinking like the casino? How do you start systematically stacking the odds in your favor? Look, the casino doesn't wing it. They live and die by a strict set of rules, and you should too. First, only trade liquid options with tight spreads. Minimize those hidden costs. Second, give your trade enough time to actually work. Don't buy a weekly option for a thesis that needs 2 months to play out. And third, this is the golden rule. Never, ever risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any single idea. That's what protects you from the risk of ruin. And this brings us to a huge strategic shift. This is what the pros do. Instead of gambling on those far out-of-the-money lottery tickets, professionals often use in-the-money options when all they want to do is make a simple bet on a stock's direction. Just look at this table. The difference is night and day. For that cheap out-of-the-money option to pay off, you have to be right about the stock's direction, the timing, and the size of the move. You have to get 3 things perfect. With an in-the-money option, which is almost all real intrinsic value and has a super high delta, you really only need to be right about one thing: direction. It simplifies the bet dramatically. So what does this all boil down to? It's a fundamental truth you just can't ignore. Options trading is a zero-sum game. Unlike buying stock in a company which is an asset, an option is a bet. For every single dollar won, a dollar is lost. So if you want to be on the winning side of that bet, you have to burn these takeaways into your brain. First, know that you are making a bet, not buying an asset. Second, understand that for every trade, there is a winner and a loser. That means you have to focus on high probability trades. And finally, you have to manage your risk like a business, not a weekend trip to Vegas. And that means you have to completely let go of that gambler's dream, that fantasy of hitting the 1,000% jackpot. The casino's goal is totally different. It's about making small, consistent, high-probability wins over and over and over again. It's about having a statistical edge and just letting it play out over time. Which, you guessed it, brings us right back to where we started. This should be your mantra. With every single decision you make, which option to pick, how much to risk, you have to ask yourself, am I acting like the casino right now, or am I being the gambler? You see, with every single trade, the market is giving you a choice. You can be the person who buys the low probability bet, hoping and praying for a miracle, or you can position yourself on the other side of that trade, where the odds are stacked in your favor. So the question is, the next time you trade, are you going to be the one buying the lottery ticket, or are you going to be the one selling it? The choice is yours.